Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. You may have some Christmas lights that don't work anymore and you're not sure what to do with them. You hate to throw it away and clog things up. Well, we're going to give you some ideas. Also some ideas for a green Christmas in this edition of WJTS in.form. Joining me in the studio, Carla Stieger-Winner. Carla is the director of the Du Bois County Solid Waste District, and she simply wants to keep things out of a landfill. That's really kind of what it comes down to sometimes.
Right, that's what it comes down to. We want people to have a proper place to get rid of things and to try to, give as many options for that as possible. Sometimes that's the landfill, but we would prefer if we had a different option, and so that's great with our new program this year with the Christmas light recycling. We can recycle those strands of Christmas lights instead of throwing those away into the landfill.
Okay, a lot of people, they pulled out their lights, they put them on the house and find out that they don't work. They
Right.
can't find that bulb that's messed up.
Exactly.
And so I think I may even have a box that I've just never done anything with. I
And
just know they don't work, I just put them aside.
Yeah, that happens a lot too, is folks will just, I think we have a box like that too.
Yeah, you think you're
Just
going to use them.
I think I'm going to use
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So this year, I'm really excited because this is the first time that we've been able to offer this as a program during the Christmas season. We have one retail location where we have barrels and you can drop them off at Rural King anytime they're open, or you can take them to our process center. So this year, those are the two locations we're offering it. And that's simply because it takes us time to make sure the right things in the barrel and that sort of thing. So we're super excited to be able to offer that program this year.
First time?
Yes.
First time? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll continue.
Yes.
All right, let's talk
yeah.
about what do you want people to do if they've got old Christmas lights?
Right. So I brought a strand of lights, and it doesn't matter. I've had people ask me, what if they still work? Okay, well, the older lights, a lot of us are going to the LED lights, something that's a little more energy efficient or safer. So it doesn't matter if they work or not. If they work and you want to donate them somewhere, or give them to someone else that will reuse them, reuse is always better as long as it's safe. But it doesn't matter if they work or don't work. We just want these in the barrel, and whatever bag or box or bin they're in, we want that off of them. So you can just carry it up to the barrel and dump them in just like this.
So all you want is that strand or string?
We want the strands, the strings. We don't want rigid forms. We don't want boxes of lights. We just the strand or the strings, because the main thing that's recyclable in this is the wiring that is in those. So that's the main thing that's recyclable. If it has the lights still on it, that's absolutely fine. But we don't want you to just send your boxes or bags of extra lights. Those aren't really recyclable.
You don't want the bulbs separately.
No.
Like if
No,
I've got
if
the store
they're
with-
on
okay.
it, that's fine. Even
Yeah.
if it's the big bulbs, if they're on it, that's fine. But we don't want all those bulbs separately thrown in there. And we don't want it, if it's in a box or a bag or something like that. We just want you to dump it out of that into the barrel when you get to the site.
If they've got it wrapped around something, you want it off of that.
Yeah.
Whatever they. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter the kind of lights. And what if I've got some of those old-fashioned lights?
Right.
A string of lights like
the
that.
vintage ones.
Yeah, the vintage ones.
Yeah, I've already seen some of those come in. No, that's absolutely fine. Any of those are fine to recycle. And again, those are probably not safe to be putting on our tree anymore anyway, so it could be a safety issue. But let's just go ahead and let's recycle them this year while you're getting the Christmas stuff out or while you're putting it away at the end of the season. Let's do it this year because we are doing the program this year. We will just have to take it on a year-by-year basis to see if we can continue the program in the next year. So,
Okay. How long do I have to dispose of my lights?
yeah, from now until January 14, we will have the barrels at Rural King. If it's after that, you are more than welcome to bring them out to the process center. But we want to finish this program out on January 14th, and then we'll do a little release saying how many pounds. We've already gotten probably about 100 pounds of lights in already.
Really?
Yeah, so we want to do a little release saying, how successful the program was and how many pounds of lights that we were able to recycle this year. So that's why we want folks to get them in by the 14th, and that's at our retail location at Rural King. the barrels will disappear after the 14th. So you can bring them out to, if you still have some, you can really bring them out to our process center at any time, and we will make sure they get recycled. But we'd like for them to become part of this program right around the season. We feel like that's most convenient for folks anyway.
And all you're really wanting are the strands of lights. What if somebody's got extension cords, things like that? You're not looking for that.
If it's an extension cord, you can throw it in there. That's fine.
Because you're going to recycle the wire.
Yeah. But what we really don't want is, we don't want a lit Christmas tree.
Okay. Yeah. Good point.
Because that's going to fill up the whole barrel. There's very little on that's actually recyclable. It's so we don't want rigid frames. We don't want boxes of lights or ornaments. We don't want lit trees. We just want the strands.
The strands of lights.
The strands of lights.
Whether they work or not.
If you have any questions, just give us a call. We've gotten several calls on it already. We are more than happy to answer. And then, of course, on our Facebook page, we have a little bit more detailed information about it, too. But always feel free to give us a call if you're not sure.
How can people have a green Christmas this year? You talked to me about a green Christmas.
Yeah, and you kind of looked at me funny, like, what does that mean, a green Christmas? And so I think it's kind of thinking about when you're hosting a holiday gathering, are you going to go with single-use stuff like plastic and styrofoam plates and plastic silverware? Or are you going to go with reusables? And so obviously, going with reusables when you're hosting is the best option, but not everybody wants to do that. So then you got to think about, okay, are the things I'm using, are these recyclable? Well, any of the plastic cups and stuff like that aren't really recyclable in our area. So you might want to think about going with paper over styrofoam or plastic if you're using single use. One thing we'll do a lot in gatherings just around the year that we do with our family and friends is we might use paper plates, but we're going to use, anybody can get really cheap metal silverware now. You can buy it at a thrift store. It's all the old sets that you've had around for years that you maybe don't use on a daily basis. We just have a bin of metal silverware. It's so easy to just throw all those in the dishwasher and reuse them rather than throwing away 40 forks, that everybody used of the plastic forks. So that's one way. And then also, folks get frustrated with trying to recycle over the holidays. I talk to different people and they're like, I try to recycle, but people don't use the bins, or, and I know different folks that will they go through their trash after their party and pull out the recyclables, But if you're going to try to do recycling at your holiday gathering, if you try to put a trash can and a recycle bin next to each other and have them well labeled, which is trash and which is recycling. You can put a few starter recyclables in there. So just put a couple
plastic bottle or a can
put a plastic bottle in there, and then people kind of get the idea. There's always going to be people that just make the choice to put it in the trash. But if you just have a recycle bin and it's not next to a trash can, you're going to get trash in your recycle bin. You're going to get recycling in your trash bin. So if you're gonna try to recycle over the holidays, that's kind of a good thing, because you're going to have folks coming over that aren't maybe used to recycling. And so you want to set a good example for them on how your family does recycle, and that it's important to you, and that it's important to do that. So, and then that's another idea as far as hosting a green holiday. If you're going to have beverages and you're not going to be using reusable cups, you might consider doing cans or bottles that you can recycle instead of cups, that are going to get thrown in the trash.
Especially styrofoam cups. Can we recycle those at all?
No, we can't recycle those. They last forever. There's, 20% of the styrofoam actually ends up as litter or in our waterways accidentally. Even if you throw it in your trash, by the time it gets to the landfill, it may have, fallen out of a truck or something. So that stuff lasts forever. If we try to stick with paper products is really the best thing to stick with. You can get hot and cold cups that are paper products, because that at least will eventually break down. So that's what makes it better than the styrofoam. So if you're not gonna go with reusables, because
Sure.
you got 50 people at your house, That can be an issue. Paper products are the better thing to go with as far as being green.
Well, I think just the option of putting a recyclable bin next to the trash, people I think look for that nowadays.
Yeah, they do.
They do, and so they're not just automatically throwing it away. They got that aluminum can.
Yeah.
I always look around to see if there's someplace else I can put it.
And I think, you know, and I do too. And I think there are quite a few people, and I think maybe people that don't offer that don't really realize how many of us are like stashing our recyclables so we can recycle it at home. Or, you know, and so it sets a good example for the rest of the folks coming over to your house. And folks may be actually expecting that. So, and it's much nicer than trying to pull all that stuff out of your trash can after everyone leaves. Just,
Oh, yeah. Much better. Much better.
you know, so yeah.
All right. Well, Carla, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we can have a green Christmas this year. And if you've got Christmas lights that you know don't work and you're holding on to them, or even if they do work, you just want to get rid of them, make sure that you go to Rural King and throw them in the bin, or bring them to the recycling center.
The process center,
Please,
yep.
the process center, but please take them out of the plastic bag or the box you have them
Whatever
stored in. Just throw that
container, yep.
strand in there, and that's perfect. All
Great.
right.
Thank you.
Carla, thank you for being in. And thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We are local people watching local people.